Good morning everyone, Janie here. Welcome back to my garden. It is a cool, crisp morning and it feels so good and it is not raining, which makes me happy. So my plan for today is to do a little bit of damage control. Here in California, we've had such a cold winter. It is spring, it is the end of March and I am still wearing my winter clothes, which is crazy because sometimes in February I'm in t-shirts. So we are all getting really anxious for some heat. Then the other thing, and probably the bigger deal, is the amount of rain California has been having. We went from two extremes. We were in a drought from 2020 till last fall, basically. And then all of a sudden we have tons and tons and tons of rain. I was looking up the numbers, at least here in the Sacramento area. Our average rainfall is 16 inches for the whole year. This year alone, only in March, we're already at 25 inches and we have another inch predicted for next week. So it is a lot of rain in a very short amount of time. And of course, since we are in a drought, it's a really, really great thing that we do have all this excess moisture. Our reservoirs are all full, but the amount that we're getting and it's coming in waves. So it's coming in what they're calling atmospheric rivers, which are just like blasts of rain. So it's coming in waves and it's causing actually a lot of damage. It's causing damage to homes. It's causing damage like erosion. We haven't had any damage, which has been, thank goodness. But the only thing that has been damaged is my poor sunset gold breath of heaven. I kind of talked about this a little bit in my bulb video the other day. Jason and I, we were walking around and then all of a sudden I looked over at this one and it was dead. It was like all brown on the inside and it was starting to show brown. I'll show you a little clip right here. There was a miscommunication between Jason and I, and he came out right away when I was inside and he pulled them out. And I wanted to film them for you guys, so I'm sorry I don't have a better video of them, but you can kind of see what this one looked like. It was like overnight, it felt like. I did not notice it. And then I was researching it and I realized it's because of the water. It's because of the wetness we have. Our ground is so saturated at this point that anytime it rains, there's like puddles sitting on my soil because the ground is already absolutely full of water. So I really think that it was the moisture. These are drought loving plants. These are dry loving plants and they cannot handle wet feet. They cannot handle poor draining soil. And that is exactly what we've had at the beginning of this year. So let me tell you guys a little bit about Breath of Heaven. So it is Coleonema pucella. This is the sunset gold variety. There are other types of Breath of Heaven that actually get much taller, but this is a dwarf version that only gets 2 to 3 feet tall, 4 to 6 feet wide. And I absolutely love it. It blooms these little pink blooms. Here, I have a couple over here on this one. This one is just starting to bloom. It blooms these beautiful pink blooms all over. The bees absolutely love it. Blooms in winter and spring. It is full sun. This one does get some shade, especially in the summer. So it's not as bright as these always got, the ones that are here. But obviously this garden bed has better drainage than these garden beds do. And I think that that's why these succumbed to the rain. So hardy zones 8 through 11, excuse me, and it is a very good drought tolerant plant. It likes the dry weather. I think that they're from Australia, but don't quote me on that. But I'm almost positive they're from Australia. Anyway, so my plan for today is it's gonna be super easy. I have a spot for it. The soil is loose. I already have my drip hooked up to the area. You know, it's literally just replacing it. And sometimes that's just what you have to do with plants, especially when you're dealing with crazy weather like we've been dealing with. Here's the other one. I'm really sad because the other ones were nice and big, but at least I can get started. I didn't prune these at first. I kind of just let them go. And I think with these, my new ones, I'm going to prune them religiously because I really like how they look when they're kind of pruned into a tight ball. It looks really, really neat. So yeah, so that's all I'm going to do is I'm going to plant both of those today. I did want to show you guys my Chinese fringe flower. I feel like that is this is a really good combination. Chinese fringe flower or Laura Pedlum, and then the Sunset Gold Breath of Heaven. They both take the same water requirements. They both take the same sun requirements. And I feel like that the contrast between the dark red leaves of this loropetalum and the bright chartreuse of the Breath of Heaven, I think it's just perfect. I just think it's so good for foundation shrubs in your garden. I didn't plant these. I didn't pick these out. These were here when I moved in, but these were some of the shrubs that I decided to keep because I loved it so much. One more thing I just wanted to point out to you guys. This Chinese fringe flower, Breath of Heaven, this guy's struggling. Can you guys see that? So now I have my eye on this one. After those two Breath of Heavens died, now I'm looking at this one really, really closely. I've already given it some soil acidifier and I've given it some fertilizer. You can see I have some chlorosis going on. It's just kind of struggling, and now I'm kind of getting really nervous about it. And that's, you know, that's just kind of part of it, and part of your garden is everything doesn't always last, right? Plants do have a lifespan, and if you make it hard on them, their lifespan is obviously going to be shorter. So hopefully that one survives. I love it there. Again, just like the Breath of Heaven, if that one succumbs to the rain and is not happy, I will just plant another Chinese fringe flower there. All right, so I'm going to get these in the ground. It should take me, I don't know, 20 minutes. That took 10 minutes. 10 minutes to do that one, 10 minutes to do that one, and that included moving the camera around to film. So I love it when things work out. Yes, it was super disappointing that we lost these, especially because they were big and established, but the new ones are kind of cute. And looking on the bright side, I'm going to be able to care for them properly. One, because I know how to do it, and two, because I am starting these plants and I'm going to be taking care of them every year. So there is a silver lining to everything. So anyway, I heard through the grapevine, I got these at my local garden center, Green Acres, but I heard through the grapevine that they do sell Sunset Gold Breath of Heaven at Costco. If you live in zones 8 through 11, which are the hardy zones for here. So check them out at Costco. I love these plants, you guys. They are just, you know, it's always hard to think of a plant that's not, I mean, this is a blooming plant, but it's not a super blooming plant, just like a shrub. You do need those foundational shrubs in your garden, and they really do anchor your garden and make a huge difference. So this is actually a good one. So I hope you all enjoyed this. Let me know if you guys have lost any plants or shrubs in this crazy winter weather. It's been pretty crazy. I'm pretty happy that I've only lost these two. I was worried about my bougainvillea in my backyard because bougainvillea hates water, and I kept looking and I would see puddles by it, but so far it's leafing out and it looks pretty good, so I'm happy about that. So stay tuned for later this week. I do have my March garden tours, front and back garden tours, coming up this week, and things are looking really good. So stay tuned for that. I hope you all have a chance to get in your garden today.